What's going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley, along with Big G. Welcome to Steelers Almighty and the Big Show, man. We got a lot to cover today, Big G. A lot happened over the last couple of weeks, especially this past week against the Ravens. We got a big game tomorrow. It's Christmas. So I guess this is the Christmas edition. We're in the Christmas spirit. But yeah, man, we got a lot to cover, Big G. I was a little disappointed in the game the other night. I'm not going to lie. I was upset because I believed that it was a game the Steelers could have won, and we made it turnovers, costly turnovers that cost us the game. We're going to get into that. Obviously, the grade and Big G's, what he agrees and doesn't agree with as far as the game. We're going to get into what he thought about the scouting report, and then also, as we know, what is going on for this week. Or I shouldn't say this week, tomorrow against the Kansas City Chiefs, and how big a game it is. It's a real big game in my house, Big G. My wife is a diehard Chiefs fan. So I've had to listen to this nonsense about the Chiefs for the last few years. It's driving me insane. It's driving me insane, bro. I can't take it. I can't take it.
Man, bro, man, first of all, man, I got to say happy holidays to everybody.
Absolutely.
As you can see, me and B is a little festive. My man got the no cookies on. That's what I'm talking about, and we lit up over here. You know how we light it up. We lit up for the holiday season. But yeah, man, I still got a bad taste in my mouth from the Ratbirds game, man. We'll get into it as far as the breakdown is concerned with the offensive play and then what was going on with the defense. But it was very disappointing. But we got to bounce back, man. We don't want no problems, and them Chiefs don't want no problems. So let's do what we got to do, because they don't want no problems, man, tomorrow night. They don't want no problems.
They absolutely don't, man. So, as always, before we get into this, remember, Steelers Almighty, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you dive into those comments like you normally do. And, again, Super Chats are wide open. So if you want your question, your rant, your statement, anything on the screen, and jump to the front of the line, you know exactly how to do that. Merry Christmas. Let's get this thing going. So first things first, the news of the week as far as injuries, Big G, it looks like George Pickens is playing. Yeah. I thought he was going to play last week, but it kind of sounds like the Steelers pushed everything to this week. It's weird. But they did, because I figure last week everybody plays, you win, and then you can rest for the next couple of weeks and get everybody healthy. The Steelers have taken a different approach. They're like, nope, we're going to make sure everybody is as close to 100% before we put them out there. So it looks like George Pickens is going to play. It looks like Larry Ogunjobi is going to play. Justin Fields is not going to play. He was doing some stuff, but he's probably going to be the emergency quarterback. Dante Jackson basically came out and said, I'm going to play. So getting him back. The big one for me is Deshaun Elliott. We still 100% don't know as far as Deshaun Elliott, but if everything that we've been hearing, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play, because I think the Steelers, I think this is an opportunity for them to win a game at home on Christmas, get the ship righted after losing 2 in a row. Big G, what do you think?
Well, it's all hands on deck. We're in position now because of the loss to the Baltimore Ravens, where we're basically tied. The only reason why we're considered still in first place is because of the divisional wins. We have one more divisional game or win than Baltimore. So we have to win these last 2 games against Kansas City and or Cincinnati to give ourselves an opportunity to have a home playoff game. So anybody that can play, listen, bro, this ain't time to mess around. You can play. And I understand why too, B. Because, you got a 3-day wraparound. Why take the chance to rush them out early and get another injury or tweak the injury? Let's just rest them, give them the full 10-day span, and get them 100% healthy for the Wednesday night game against the Chiefs.
Right. Now, the people that are not going to play, Big G, Joey Porter Jr. is not going to play. And people haven't even seen him at practice. So he's not going to play. I would bet Ben Skoranek, I would doubt that he plays too. And people might think, well, Ben Skoranek, first of all, Ben Skoranek is a special teams dynamo. That's number one. 2, he's also made some plays in the passing game. And 3, in the run game as a receiver, the Steelers can come out in 11 personnel, but they can line Ben Skoranek up as an offset tight end, and he can block in-line linebackers. He can actually do that. So that's a problem, not having those guys out there. That's a problem. We haven't been able to get this secondary healthy the last few weeks since Deshaun Elliott went out. Dante Jackson seems like he's been nicked up, every game or every other game all year. Missed last week. And Joey Porter going out this week. That's not going to help going against the Chiefs because that's kind of where we're at right now. But it is what it is, man. It is. At this Big G, it's like you said, it's all hands on deck, and we just got to figure this thing out.
Yeah. Against Baltimore, think about it, bro. Dante Jackson, Deshaun Elliott, Joey Porter Jr. was all standing on the sidelines or in the locker room or not even in a uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, we had KZ, Beanie Bishop, Corey Trice, who really didn't have a full game experience, all out there playing. We need all those guys to go up against those Chiefs weapons that they have.
Absolutely.
So I know that they have some injury stuff going on too, which might affect the game, but we need our players. I'm not so much worried about what Kansas City is going to put on the field and not put on the field. Our players need to be available and healthy to play to win against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love your quote, all hands on deck. And I know that's not a new quote or anything like that, but I just love that quote. It's like, it's now or never, people. Basically, the playoffs have started for the Pittsburgh Steelers because we got to win these 2 games, win the division. We're not going to get a 1 seed no matter what. So now we got to go in the playoffs, have started. I like that aspect of it. Speaking of that, let's get into the grades from this past week, man. It wasn't as bad on the offense as what you would think, except for maybe one player, but we'll go through it. First things first, man. Again, everybody that's in here, we appreciate you being in here. Thank you, guys. Again, remember to like, follow, subscribe, especially right after you get out of here. Go to the video, make a comment, all that good stuff. And again, you want your question, everything, question, rant, you want that up? Super chats are open. Let's get it popping. So, quarterback, Russ wasn't good, man. Look, here's my breakdown, Big G. Russ did a lot of good things in this football game. He did. Getting out of trouble, scrambling around, making throws on the run. Did a lot of good things in this football game. But when you turn my football over twice, that eliminates all the good that you did. And not only does it eliminate it, it puts you in a negative light. So I couldn't give Russ anything but a D. A lot of people got on me and said it should have been an F, but I gave him a D for the simple fact that he did do some good stuff in the football game.
B, man, I wanted to give Russie grace, but when I went back and I actually sat and watched the all 22 film, this was the worst game Russell Wilson played all year.
Yeah.
In my consideration, he pushed himself into where he was getting sacked. He ran into the pressure, versus stepping up or stepping away. He ran into the pressure. That pick six was inexcusable. What was even more inexcusable is fumbling the football on the 2 freaking yard line.
Yeah.
You're not Justin Fields. You're not Lamar Jackson. You're not Jalen Hurts. Get down. Give the Steelers an opportunity to score a touchdown or a minimum of field goal. 14-point swing. We lost the game by 14 points. Well, 17 because they got a late field goal. But yeah, Russie, F. You gave him a D, I give him an F. That was the worst game he played. I've seen him in a Steeler uniform.
Yeah. The thing about it that you brought up, and I brought it up when we broke down the all 22 and in our report card, Russ was running into sacks. Instead of just moving to the left or right a little bit and getting rid of the football, he kept running out of there. I mean, it was the old Kenny Pickett. I mean, we saw Kenny Pickett do that for 2 years, just runs right into sacks. I'm like, hey, man, you're the quarterback. Sometimes you're going to get hit throwing the football. That's the job. You got to stand in there and take it. I know it's easy for me to say because I'm not the one getting hit, but you're also not paying me $40 million to take the hit either. So that's part of the job. Russ didn't do a good job. As far as the running backs, I thought they were good, Big G. I mean, Najee averaged 4.7. Jalen averaged 4 yards a carry. It wasn't garbage yards or anything like that. I thought the running backs did a good job. They caught the ball out of the backfield. Najee dropped one, but they were there. He wasn't going to get no yards out of that anyway. I thought the running backs were good. They didn't get as many opportunities as maybe we would like, 24 carries, but I thought those guys played pretty good. I gave them a B+.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, B. I would have gave them maybe even an A if it wasn't. And reviewing the film and watching it, we'll talk about it with the offensive line. The offensive line is killing our running backs' ability to have explosive plays. I've seen multiple times, multiple games now, where we're one block away from going for 20, 25, 30, and maybe even to the house. And so people get mad at the little quick toss play and all the little things that they say, this is predictable. It's there every freaking time, man. The issue is that the offensive line has to fit it right, fit it correctly, and the tight ends have to fit it right and fit it correctly, and then there'll be big explosive plays.
Yeah.
So I'm not going away from him. I'm saying staying with that type of play, give them opportunity, and the line improve to fit it up correctly to get a big time play out of the running back. So I give him a B plus, almost even an A minus, man.
I got you. Yeah, they weren't bad. Now, as far as the offensive line, look, the right side of the line is a problem. Broderick Jones, our man Mason McCormick has hit that rookie wall. And when we start playing good competition, McCormick's technique, which we know is bad, it's now becoming a liability. He is getting abused in the run game, pass game. Just doesn't. It just looks bad, man. It just looks bad. Hopefully, we can get it turned around here. I don't know how, but we'll see. But the offensive line. Now, here's the one thing in the run game, like you mentioned, only a couple. Like everybody will have it blocked, but one guy.
Facts.
And then maybe we get 7 yards when it could have been 14 yards. You know, everybody's blocking on one play except one guy. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't. Now, pass pro is a different story. But overall, for the offensive line, I didn't think it was a horrible day. I gave him a C, Big G.
Well, I couldn't give him a C, bro. I heard your grade and I couldn't do it. But I got to have you pick a sign, bro. Because number 66, McCormick, gets one of these signs. So pick 1 through 4. Who you got and what's his grade?
Give me 2. Give me 2.
Number 2, McCormick, you're dumpster juice, dog. You listen, I don't know what's going on. I know they're talking about rookie wall and all whatever else. Nah, bro. Technically, he's not sound. I don't know. Out there, he looks lost. He looks like a dancing panda. I saw plays where he spun completely around and the line in the play was going the other way. I was like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So his play, rookie or not, has not lived up to what we thought he was going to be, which even more so makes me ride with you about Daniels. We got to give him a contract.
Well,
but on the other side, Jones played pretty good. Dan Moore played pretty good.
Yeah.
Zach Frazier played really well. So I give him a C minus, man, because McCormick, man, you got to go, dog.
He's dragging us down. And the thing about McCormick, the thing about McCormick is we know that he is a backup. He was drafted to be a backup. He's forced into duty because of injuries to James Daniels, which, speaking of that, there gets to our first super chat of the day. Our man, Claude Bishop. Would you guys re-sign James Daniels if he's healthy in the offseason? And do you think the Steelers need a new O-line and DC next year? Which I'm assuming he needs O-line coach and defensive coordinator. First off, the James Daniels thing, I say yes, because James Daniels only 27, and I think you'll be able to get him at a discount because he got hurt. I know that sucks, but that just facts of life. He got hurt, and I think you can get him at a discount. Even if it's a 1-year prove-it deal, I think you can re-sign James Daniels to 1 year, get McCormick back to where he needs to be, learning, getting better, and sitting and watching. But, yeah, I would absolutely get James Daniels. Like I said, needs to be healthy, and it's got to be reasonable on a prove-it deal. As far as the O-line coach, we've been saying all year, Big G, we need a new Pat Meyer. Got to go. Got to go.
B, you know what to say.
Yeah.
Adios muchachos, my friend. You got to go, dog.
Yeah,
you got to go.
Yeah. Got to go. And Terrell Austin, look, he's the D coordinator, but we all know that it's Mike Tomlin too. But to be honest with you, what does Terrell Austin bring to the table?
Nothing.
I mean, other than being maybe Tomlin's lackey. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. Not enough pressure, not enough imagination on defense anymore. So we can say we want a new defensive coordinator, but if you're not putting a game plan and you're not in charge, then what difference does it make who the D coordinator is, to be honest with you? That's just my take. Let me know what your take is, Big G.
Man, I agree with everything you said. James Daniels is a must sign. I think we could try to get him into a 2 or 3 year deal. Maybe approve it to me if you say one. But we have to have him. We need him and a healthy Troy Fautano to give ourselves an opportunity to have a tier 1 offensive line. We've seen what that looks like. We played the Philadelphia Eagles. We saw what a healthy tier 1 offensive line looks like. We need that in Pittsburgh. Now, Pat Meyer, listen, bro, I'm sorry. And B, I'm gonna be honest. People say that I'm wrong for saying this. I want a college coach. I want a guy who's a top tier college offensive line coach to come in and coach those professional players that's not that far away from their age. I love that guy who's the coach down at Georgia, man. You look at what Georgia has put in the NFL over the last several years from the offensive line standpoint, man, go get him. Pay that man because we need a guy that's going to go in there and teach technique and hold them accountable. And we're not getting that from Myers, bro. And you already know my thoughts with Austin. Listen, bro. If you're just an extension of Tomlin, you're not going to help us. No. We need a guy that's going to dial it up. In the NFL now with quarterbacks, if you can't put pressure on them outside of sending 4, running stunts, running games, you have no way of winning an NFL football game consistently. And I don't care how good of a defensive personnel you have. So we need a guy that's going to dial it up every week. We're going to send 5, send 6, play all kind of inside games, outside games with them. They don't know where the pressure's coming. And let's get back to that Blitzburg, bro.
Absolutely. We'll bring this up here. We usually just bring super chats, but this is a great comment by our man, Craig. Stop getting these cheap coaches. You get what you pay for.
That's
absolutely right. Stop getting cheap coaches. You get what you pay for. And we had Brian Flores here. But Brian Flores stayed for a season because he was like, look, I see what's going on. I'm a linebackers coach. I need to have more input in what's going on. I'm smarter than this guy. Why aren't I? And he got up out of here, and I get it. Steelers got to get out of that way of thinking, man. So
facts.
We'll see. We will see. So getting back overall, as far as the Steelers offense, look, I put most of the blame on Russ because when you're the quarterback, you get the most credit, and you also get the most blame. And when the offense didn't do what it needed to do, he turned the ball over, took points off the board twice. It is what it is. I gave it a C-. Could have went lower. I gave him a little bit of grace, but I gave the offense a C- overall, man.
Yeah, the quarterback play cost us the game. I mean, you can try to clean it up all you want to. He cost us the game. He fumbled on the 2, and he threw a pick 6 after Minka swung the gate to get us right back in the game. I mean, it was 24-17. We had the ball and could have scored. Pick 6, unexcusable, bro. Nah, so I might even gave him a D, to be honest, man. But I'm down with the gray. I'm down with the gray.
Now moving on, man, to the D-line. Look, first off, TJ Watt was hurt. You saw that he was hurt. He didn't trust his ankle. All he was doing was bull rushing. He wasn't trying to get around. They started putting resources over there at the beginning of the game. But after they figured out, he's not even rushing really on the outside. He's not 100%. They didn't even put extra chip blocks, tight end. They didn't do that with TJ. They didn't have to. He was hurt. The rest of the D-line didn't do a lot, and they ran the ball down our throat. I gave him a C because early on, Highsmith, you couldn't block him. They couldn't even touch him. But as the game wore on, the D-line didn't do much. We didn't have a whole lot of tackles for losses. I gave him a C on the day.
Yeah, I agree. And I didn't like the rotation either, B. Because I was looking for Herbig to get more snaps. I was looking for Smith to get more snaps, and it just wasn't there. And listen, this may be a Terrell Austin issue. You got to move Watt around, man. If you line them up, and I understand they want to play traditional 3-4 defense, get that pressure from the outside. Watt doesn't necessarily want to move. Highsmith doesn't want to move. But in order to give them a better position, you have to put them in places where they know they have a one-on-one matchup they can beat it every single time. Right. And lining up on the edge, if you're going to get chipped and triple teamed and the tight end stays in to block you, you're not going to get home every time. Watt's a dynamic player. So until I start seeing movement out of these linebackers from a schematic standpoint, man, they might sit at a C for me for the rest of the way unless they just have so many splash plays that I got to give them an A.
Yeah, that's where the problem comes in, is that they don't move around. And I know those guys don't like it, but it's got to be for the betterment of the team. Look at Myles Garrett. We can make fun of Cleveland and all the stuff all we want, but first of all, we know Myles Garrett is a top-tier football player in this league. There ain't 10
Mhm.
better players than Myles Garrett in the National Football League. Sorry,
Mhm.
that might hurt some feelings with Steeler fans, but if you're being honest, you know that's the truth.
Yeah.
Second of all, they move that man all over the line of scrimmage. We
Mhm.
can do the same thing because we also have a guy that's a top 10 football player in the National Football League. We can
Mhm.
move those guys around all we want. We just don't. That's coaching, that's schematics, and it stinks. As
Facts.
far as the linebackers, not a good day.
Mhm.
Somebody runs for 221 or 220 yards on you, you didn't have a good day.
Mhm.
And Patrick Queen missing tackles all over the place, bad in coverage. Peyton Wilson, again, not being physical in the run game.
Mhm.
Even E-Rob, he made one splash play. He was trying to run around blocks, not being gap sound. It was a
Mhm.
D for me, Big G. Not a good day by the linebackers, man.
B, I'd have gave him D minus. Because listen, I'm gonna be we knew what the game plan was.
Yes.
We knew that Derrick Henry was gonna get about 25 carries. We called it out on the show even before it happened. We knew it because of the way we played against them the last time. And so the deal was you got to be gap sound. Not even that. You have to be aggressive and
Yeah.
give effort. And I didn't see it out of those guys. I mean, they it's like they were scared to get hit. Like you know what is coming, man. And it's not like Baltimore's offensive line is that good,
No.
especially from the tackle standpoint.
Correct.
But I saw tackles getting crackback box on our linebackers. I was like, man, it's gonna be a long day. Because Derrick Henry was hitting the hole and he had already picked up 4 yards. And that's because our linebackers was getting blown up as the drives went on. So yeah, D minus, man, they played horrible. I D minus.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the thing, man, is that they just weren't physical. They just weren't physical enough. You knew what was coming. They only ran Derrick Henry 13 times in the previous game. You knew they
Mm-hmm.
were going to give him 22 to 25 carries. He
Mm-hmm.
had 6 carries in this game of 10 plus yards. Come on, man.
Facts.
Come
Yeah.
on. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Moving on to the DBs. Look, now I gave the DBs a little bit of pity here for the simple fact 3 guys are out. Sean
Mm-hmm.
Elliott, Dante Jackson, and Joey Porter Jr. didn't play over half the football game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I gave him some pity. The one thing that I will say is that I made a mistake calling Corey Trice the best corner on the Steelers. No, he's not.
Yeah.
You know me. I can admit when I'm wrong. And
That's
chat,
facts.
y'all know me. I'll tell you when I'm wrong. I was wrong. Corey Trice, he's not ready to play. I see why now the Steelers didn't give him a helmet. He was
Mm-hmm.
not good. They picked on him. 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. He's given 10, 12-yard cushions
Mm-hmm.
and backpedaling at the snap.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't sink on that touchdown pass to Bateman. Cover 2. He bites on Likely, who's running a 2-yard route instead of
Mm-hmm.
sinking and giving KZ help on that side. Make
Mm-hmm.
them throw it to Likely and then come up and make the tackle. It was bad, man. I all the way around. All the way around, it was bad. I gave him a C- on the day.
D for me. You're right, and you understand why these guys are backups. Steeler Nation was hyped about Cam Sutton returning and coming from the suspension. Man, Cam ain't made a play since he been out there yet.
No.
Beanie, I'm telling you, outside of Minka having that big splash play, the only guy that was even worth a nickel, and when I watched it, was Beanie. Because at least he was aggressive. He made mistakes, but he was aggressive. I can live with aggressive mistakes. I cannot live with you just out there just not doing nothing and playing like you're going through the motions. That's not how we play Steeler football. And so those guys look lost. They look like, okay, and even more so, B, who does Baltimore got? Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. You got to pay attention to Zay. But man, they was letting Bateman beat them. I was like, come on, dog. Y'all got to get better in the defensive backfield. But they're backups. So thank God they all healthy this week. But straight D for me, bro. D.
Yeah, it was a bad game, man. And overall, the defense, look, I said in the pregame show, you can't let Derrick Henry get 125, 130 yards, then let Lamar Jackson throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns. If you do that, you're not going to win. Well, Derrick Henry went for over 160. Lamar Jackson threw for 3 touchdowns. And guess what? We didn't win.
Facts.
And so overall, the defense just wasn't good all the way around. I gave him a D on the day. Could have been worse, but it was a D for me, Big G.
I agree. I mean, I help schematically that we dial it up this week now that our health is there. Because there's no excuse. Obanjobi's back. Elliott's back. Should be.
Yeah.
Jackson's back. Dial it up, man.
Yeah.
Dial it up because Mahomes is not healthy. They might be
Yeah.
missing their left tackle. Dial it up, man. Get after that dude, man. Go get him because that's the only way we have an opportunity to win this game. So if I don't see the effort this week out of the Steelers defense, bro, I'm concerned going into the playoffs, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to get better. We can make excuses for them for 2 weeks because guys have been hurt. Okay, fine. Now they're back, man, with no more excuses. No more excuses. Special teams, I just gave a B for the day. They were okay. Boz and Waitman kind of did their thing. We caused a fumble,
Facts.
but we didn't get on it. You know, we caused that fumble, but we didn't jump on it. So it is what it is. But I gave him a B for the day. But here's the real one: coaching. Big G. Look, the decision that Mike Tomlin made when it was 4th and 6, we were on their 45 and we went for it. I'm like, I thought we should have punted there, but I understand his reasoning and his thinking because we hadn't really stopped their run game. So let's do something different. Okay, I'm with that. But then when it turned out and it was 3rd and 11 and then we ran that tunnel screen and then we punted, I'm like, hold on a second. First of all, you ran the tunnel screen. You should be fired for that. You know, that's NFL malpractice.
Facts.
And then second of all, why would you punt? What was the reasoning? If you went for it, I think last week got in his head. That's why he went for it. Because I think that's why he went for it the first one on the 4th and 6. Because he's like, we punted last week and we never got the ball back. So I'm thinking he's probably thinking the same thing, but I don't know. Didn't like it. I like the offensive game plan. They came out aggressive. Arthur Smith wasn't throwing interceptions, wasn't fumbling the ball. That wasn't Arthur Smith. The plays were fine. Sometimes we got to hold the guys accountable, man. The defense was pathetic. I just didn't like it. I just gave the coaching a C overall.
I would have gave the defensive coaching an F. I would have gave the offensive coaching maybe a C minus. C plus, B minus, because I did like it schematically what we were doing. And like you said, the players have to be held accountable concerning what's going on in the field. But the issue is that you see guys like Dan Campbell. You see guys like the Kansas City chief coach, who's the best coach, in my opinion, in the league, how they're ultra aggressive. You even see Skoranek, the Philadelphia Eagles coach. When it's 4th and when it's 3rd and long, and you know already from a schematic standpoint or game plan standpoint, you're going to go for it on 2 downs, then call a play to get you closer. Correct. Than from a 3rd and 11. You want to be at around that 4th and 3, 4th and 2. You don't call a tunnel screen.
No.
Matter of fact, in those situations, you really work the crossing routes in the middle of the field. That's what most of those teams do. You cross it up in the middle, get a pick route, get somebody open so they can catch the ball in rhythm and run. They wasn't doing that.
Nope.
So, I'm like, moving forward, man, we got to see better schematic things drawn up and make adjustments in the game based on what the defense is doing to us from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, B already said it. Get pressure on the quarterback. Get pressure on the opposing team's quarterback, and you will win most of your games. Yeah. So I gave him a horrible play calling and horrible coaching. And it starts and ends with Tomlin. So
absolutely. And that's why overall I gave the Steelers a D. It just wasn't good enough, man. Wasn't good enough. Let me get to this super chat real quick from our man Claude Bishop again. He said, what's more concerning, Russell's fumble or the defense giving up 96 yards drive following it? He says Arthur Canada doesn't know how to use tight ends. D, F plus. Here's the thing about the tight ends. We've been blaming Arthur Smith a lot. You watch the all 22, my man wasn't open. Frymuth wasn't open a lot, man. He just wasn't getting open. Now, don't get me wrong. They can scheme some things up and get some stuff together to use the tight ends more. But in this specific game, Pat Frymuth wasn't just running free out there. That is not the case. So now we got other tight ends too. Washington, Pruitt, Hayward, all that stuff. But as far as Pat Frymuth was concerned against the Ravens, he wasn't open that often. So I get it. I get what you're saying, my man, Claude. But this game, it wasn't the same. Yeah,
We
it
didn't have,
just he wasn't there. Kyle Hamilton's really good too. Kyle
yeah,
Hamilton's really good. It's tough, and so is Roquan Smith. And
yeah.
those are the guys that are primarily covering tight ends. Those guys are all pros, man, and they're all pros for a reason.
But B, you saw it too when we didn't have a coverage buster. You know,
No, we
George
don't.
George Pickens is a coverage buster, bro.
Correct.
He make you schematically do some different type of stuff.
Correct.
And so they were playing more or less. I saw more 7 in the box. I saw plays where it's damn near 8 in the box. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they already know what we're going to do because they don't respect anything from a wide receiver standpoint. So moving forward, that's why we need Pickens because Pickens frees up Freiermuth. You're going to double Freiermuth every time if Pickens ain't playing because they ain't scared of nobody else. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. And on top of that, they got all pros. Come on, dog. Come on, bro. We already know.
Yeah, and that's what it was. So, but that game's over. That
Mm-hmm.
one's over. Let's move on.
Mm.
The Steelers versus the Chiefs on Christmas Day. Both teams coming off playing on Saturday. So basically, they both, I know that a lot of Steeler fans, hey, man, we got 3 games in 10 days, 11 days. The Chiefs are doing the exact same thing we are. So no advantage or disadvantage either side. Here's what I would say is I like the Steelers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is the thing that the Chiefs don't do well is protect Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex Highsmith should be able to just eat and eat and eat because they're they had to put a guard out at left tackle last week.
Mm-hmm.
If they're doing that, then Cam Hayward needs to be able to eat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
TJ Watt, this is the game that I think that we surprise everybody. The Steelers can win the game. If you don't turn it over, you
Mm-hmm.
get your weapon back on offense. Look how good Calvin Austin played last week, basically being our number 1 receiver. If
Mm-hmm.
he's the number 2 receiver and Pickens is taking a lot of coverage, and I hope they do try to play George Pickens one-on-one. I'm
Mm-hmm.
begging the Chiefs to play him one-on-one. Great.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to do that because he's going to beat that coverage. He's just
Mm-hmm.
going to. If that's what happened, I think the Chiefs got a real chance to move, or the Steelers got a chance to move the football on the Chiefs. I really like it. But defensively, we just got to get after them. We got to get after them. This is a game where we don't have to actually blitz to get after Patrick Mahomes. We can use our front 4 and get after him because our line doesn't protect very well.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Hayward, get after the quarterback. When Herbert comes in, get after the quarterback. When we should even go to some hybrid packages where we bring in Herbert, let him play on a side, slide Highsmith inside, put Cam on the other side, and then TJ Watt. Make them block those 4.
Mm-hmm.
Make them do that. And then
Mm-hmm.
just see what happens. We can get after the Chiefs in this game, Big G. I'm not afraid of this matchup, brother. I don't know about you, but I'm not afraid.
You know, this game is the first game in the last 3 games that I actually feel 100% and I have 100% belief that we can beat them just based on what we have schematically and our personnel. And the issue is they're missing 2 pieces. You've already touched points on the left tackle. Man, if Highsmith and Herbig don't eat this game, then we got issues maybe with our players. But they might be missing Chris Jones.
Correct.
And I don't care what anybody says. Chris Jones is the most pivotal player on their defense. Schematically, you got to double team him every single freaking time. And now if they put another player in there that we don't have to worry about double teaming, man, run the ball straight at him. So I think that sets up the play action pass. Russie won't get pressure in his face, which he struggles with tremendously. I don't know why he's got to have just an extra yard as far as the pocket is concerned. NFL pockets, man, they collapse all the time. Step forward and throw the ball. But this game, I believe that we can really get after them on the offensive and defensive lines. And I think that's the most pivotal part of this game. I think we can push them around with our offensive line, can push their defensive line around. And I think our defensive line can get after their offensive line, bro.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. This is a game that never scared me because I knew the Chiefs' offensive line, it just isn't very good. It just isn't. Let me get to this from my man, bro, man. He said, Elliott and Pickens playing tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I mean, Pickens for sure. Elliott practiced full practice today. So I would think all hands are going to be on deck, as Big G said. So I think Elliott is going to practice. So if
Mhm.
he's practicing full, that means Pickens is practicing full. I think they're both going. I think
Yeah.
they are both going tomorrow. Just as a reminder, everybody, pregame show going to be here 45 minutes before the football game starts tomorrow. So we got an early kick. So make sure everybody joins in, shows up, shows out, get ready, get your Christmas presents opened early, and then
Get
let's
some
get after it after that. So got our
get some
next
cookies. Get some
here.
cookies. Get some
Yeah, get some Christmas cookies, man.
yeah,
Get them
yeah,
going.
yeah.
So I'm a LeBeau Capers guy. Tomlin's patchwork hybrid defensive scheme is absurd. Here's the thing, man, about LeBeau and Capers. Look,
Mm,
those philosophies are fine. I'm not sure they still work today. I loved them back then. It's not that you can't bring aspects of both of those. That's
mhm,
the thing, my man Dresden, you're right. Those schemes aren't necessarily going to work today because everything evolves, but you can use it from time to time, and we never do. We
mhm.
never do. You can use concepts of what they do. We never, ever do it, and I don't like it. We're in the nickel too much, to be honest with you. We're in the nickel
Facts.
way too much. I don't like it, don't like it, don't like it.
Mhm,
My man, bro, man says Chris Jones is hurt, so not playing tomorrow. I don't think that he is,
mhm.
but we'll see. But here's the thing. Let's just count on him playing. Let's
Facts.
just count on Chris Jones playing and just beating them. Let's
Mhm,
just do that and not worry about anything else. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about him whether he's playing or not. Don't get me wrong. The guy's incredible,
mhm,
but let's just count on him playing and then just go beating them.
mhm,
Let's just do that. I don't think he's actually going to play though, Big G. I heard a
mhm.
lot, and it doesn't sound like he's going to play tomorrow.
Yeah, but they have the next man up mentality just like we do too. And
Correct.
and everybody needs to understand. All the Steelers fans need to understand because I know the our Steelers nation is in an uproar right now. Because I'm hearing get rid of Tomlin, do this and do that. Listen, bro, everybody has injuries right now. The NFL in totality has injuries. It's a health game as much as it's a schematic game. So now we went through our injury period. By the time the playoffs start, unless something just crazy happens, we're going to be at about that 90-95%. Thank God we're at that 90-95% because a lot of NFL teams now look at what's going on in Houston. Look at what Kansas City is facing. Josh Allen got cracked and his hands is messed up. You know, we need as many healthy players as we can get. So let's just pump our brakes with this and not get overexcited talking about one and done in the playoffs. Nah, let's see who we match up with and see how the end of the season goes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not ready to rule anything out. I know there's a lot of people out there that are ready to just say the Steelers are done and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not ready to give up on the season just yet. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a tough football game tomorrow, but it's winnable. It's definitely winnable if we play the way that we're capable of playing
Mm-hmm.
and don't make stupid mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
a ton of mental errors. Definitely capable of winning the football game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Let's go. First off, now that we're here, let's get some score predictions from people in the chat. What are
No.
you guys thinking as far as the chat?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the score is going to be tomorrow? You know, do we have the Chiefs? Big G, I'll start with you. What do you got for the score tomorrow, brother?
I got Pittsburgh winning the game. I think the Steelers can be aggressive and attack Kansas City in multiple facets. But I'm gonna tell you, man, B, the key to this game is Najee Harris. Najee, we need about anywhere between 85 and 110 yards rushing from Najee. And he can do it.
Yeah.
He's just got to be consistent, and our offensive line has to be consistent in the blocking. So I think if we get between 85 and 110 out of Najee, Fryer move catches 4, 5, 6 passes, Pickens catches a couple of splash plays, we're going to be all right. So I'm going to pick the Steelers to win 24-21, win this game. I think that we can go into Kansas City, win if we're aggressive in the run game and aggressive in getting after Patrick Mahomes.
Gotcha. I see a
Mhm.
lot here. 27-17, 27-24. I had 27-23 Steelers. My man Claude says 30-13 Chiefs. That's what he's got.
Claude,
Um,
you know what we call Claude on our other show? He's the Matrix bishop. He's
yeah.
not the governor. He's the bishop of the Matrix. He has his own congregation because he's a Steelers fan, but he hates him so much. So that Matrix Bishop when that prediction. Get up out of here, Claude. Get up out of
Well,
here.
he's the Steelers fan that will always say negative, negative, and until the Steelers win, then he's happy. But it's almost like he doesn't want his feelings to get hurt, doesn't want to get crushed because he doesn't want to be disappointed if they happen to play bad. I get that, man, but you just can't be that way. You cannot be that way. I like the Steelers in this football game tomorrow. Like I said, I like it 27-23. Let's get to our producer question. Producer said he's got something for us today, Big G. Said he was going to trip us up on a double question. So we're going to get to the producer question and see what it is. Here's a question, people. In the first round of the playoffs, would you rather face the C.J. Stroud and the Texans, host Lamar and the Ravens in Pittsburgh, and why? Ooh.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first.
It don't matter. You really want to know the truth? It don't matter. Bro, when it's playoff football, man, I'm not worried about the other team and the names, the Lamar Jacksons, the CJ Strouds. Yes, they're good quarterbacks. But when it's playoff atmosphere, you got to win to advance. That's how it works. So I ain't scared of CJ. He's down Tank Dell. They signed our old former Deontay Johnson. They signed him because they hurting. Nico's a weapon, but come on, bro. I ain't worried about them. And I really ain't worried about Lamar. Lamar didn't really beat up on us last time. We let them get that running game off. So we can play a host, the Ravens. I don't care, the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't care who it is. Buffalo, bring it. I ain't worried about nobody in the AFC, bro. Nobody in the AFC is like, oh, God, I don't want to play them. I ain't scared of none of them, bro. None of them.
Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'd rather play the Houston Texans just for the simple fact they don't have Derrick Henry, and their line is trash.
Facts.
The Texans' line is absolute trash, and that includes having Laramie Tunsil, who's one of the better tackles in football when he's not jumping off sides. I mean, the guy has 100 offsides penalties this year. But, yeah, I would rather face them. I don't know that C.J. Stroud has had this big sophomore slump. I think he has for the simple fact their line stinks, doesn't have as many weapons. So they're obviously not as good, but I would rather play them. And that doesn't mean I'm afraid of Baltimore. It's just Baltimore has something that nobody else has, man. That's Derrick Henry. He's a factor. He just is a factor. I would rather not have to deal with that until I absolutely had to. That's just my feelings on it. I would rather not have to deal with them until I had to deal with them, and then we'll just go from there. That's my feeling.
But B,
both of them are pretty good, though.
Yeah, you got to hit Big Boy. You got to hit him. You got to hit Big Boy. Put him on the ground. We already know how to do that. That's why I ain't worried about Derrick Henry. Hit his big behind. Hit him early and often. He'll quit. We already saw that this year. Hit him. So yeah, I ain't worried about him. I ain't worried about him. Neither one.
Now, I'm not necessarily worried. But I just wouldn't. If you're asking me who, I would rather play on the road in Houston. First of all, we like Houston. Steelers are going to get some fans there, and you're not dealing with Derrick Henry. Even though we know how to stop him, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to do it. We just saw it. It was pretty tough to do. But we got another question. Our producer said he was busting our head with 2 questions tonight. So here's the second one. If the Steelers end up drawing the Chargers or the Broncos, which is more likely that the Steelers will be able to beat them again at home?
Oh, now that's a hard question.
To me, it's the Broncos. Here's why. Herbert is a better quarterback, leaps and bounds than Bo Nix. When we played Herbert first time, Herbert had a high ankle sprain. He couldn't even move. I'm not afraid of either because we completely shut their running game down. Just shut it completely off. But Herbert wasn't healthy. And Herbert was starting to cook a little bit, and then he got hurt again. But if it were me, I'll play Bo Nix all day long. I will, and have him come to Pittsburgh for a playoff game. He might not throw for 100 yards, man. He might not throw for 100 yards, Big G.
Because he's going to be scared.
Exactly.
Whatever else. But listen, I'm with the dog. But I'm going to tell you what worries me, man, and I'm not scared of nobody, But the Chargers got a defense, bro.
Yeah, they do.
And
So do the Broncos, though.
I know, man, but the Chargers defense different. that defense, Khalil Mack and Bosa is problems. And defense travels in the playoffs.
It
So
absolutely does.
I would rather I'll take the Broncos on that question. Give me the Broncos.
Even the Broncos are 9th in total yards as far as the season. Chargers are 15th. And the Chargers got a good defense, but the Broncos do too. The Broncos get after that quarterback. Let me get to these 2 super chats here. Lifelong fan 07. We're going to shock the Chiefs on Christmas. I think so too, man.
That's big facts.
I think so too. And that's not just fandom. It's not just fandom. You look at the matchup and what the Steelers do well and what the Chiefs don't do well. That is a huge advantage for the Steelers. Huge advantage. Our man, brother man, who always shows up and supports us, man. We love that guy. Payback is a mother. So Ravens at home to shut up haters, but winning division when Russell Wilson was considered a wash would be a treat. Now that is an aspect that I hadn't even thought about. I'm so wrapped up into the season, Big G, that Russell Wilson being able to win the conference when everybody said he was washed, how good would that be?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, Tomlin saw something. Well, let's just be honest. It wasn't just Tomlin, but it was a lot of the veteran players on the Pittsburgh Steelers team. They saw what we had in the 53-man roster, and they were like, listen, we just need a veteran to come in and solidify us from the quarterback position because Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett wasn't getting it. Right. So thank goodness that dudes like Cam Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick went out of their way to recruit Russie and bring Russie in and be a part of the organization. Now, washed or not, I don't think he is. But the issue is you see how good of a team we are when you have stability at the quarterback position. Our offensive line is not going to do anything but get better because they're young. We're going to have to get some more guys defensively. We've done a pretty good job picking guys off of free agency. But our 53-man roster, you got to have a stable quarterback. So, yeah, it'd be sweet if we win with Russie because we showed the league, they garbage. The rest of them garbage.
Man Dresden with the super chat said he called the Ravens 31-17 last week. Now he's saying Chiefs 28-13. I think he's the same as Bishop. I think he's in the matrix just like our man Claude Bishop and doesn't like to get his hopes up too high on the Steelers, but he's a realist. He's a realist, so I give him credit for that. For me, man, on this, I think I would say the Broncos. I would rather play the Broncos.
Yeah,
for sure. Look, quarterbacks play well in big game. Now, granted, the last time we saw Justin Herbert in a football game, he was giving up a 27-point lead on the road in a playoff football game, that is. So there's that. Having said all of that, give me the rookie on the road in Pittsburgh. I'll take my chance with that all day long.
Yeah, facts. Big facts.
So, man, to close this one up, look, I'm just excited for this football game tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be wild in my house because my wife is a die-hard Chiefs fan. I got a feeling that she's going to take off all of her Santa Claus stuff. She's going to have her Mahomes jersey on. I'm going to have to deal with that. My family is in town. They're all going to be rooting for her. So it's going to be me against the world tomorrow in my own home. Ain't that something? In your own home. It's going to be me against the world, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to come. We're going to fight. We're going to battle, and we win. And when we do win, I promise you all, Big G, chat, I'm going to have something special for you all as far as a video or something that I'm going to have because I'm not going to let them get away with it. I'm just not going to let that happen. Not in my own house.
Yeah,
not in my own house, Big G. I can't let that happen, can I?
No way you can let it happen. Man, listen, man, I feel like betting some corner time, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you got all them Chiefs fans, all them guys over there scraggly. Let's bet me some corner time. I'll tell you what, over there in B's house, if y'all beat us, I'll do 10 minutes with my back turned to the camera, live on air, just because you thought you was better than us. Bet the corner time. Bet it. Tell them I want to bet. And then text it to me, bruh. I'm saying we gonna win because we ain't scared. And B, you ain't alone, dog. Steeler Nation is with you, bruh. You ain't by yourself, man. You ain't by yourself. We always together. But
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna
bet
be
the
all right.
corner
I'm gonna
time.
be
They're
all
over
right.
there talking that yak. Get that Kansas City Chiefs stuff out of here. Bet it. Bet the corner time.
We got another super chat here where Brother Man says the Broncos are easier, but we still can beat the Chargers. No, we can beat either one. I'm not afraid of either one of those teams because while Herbert is a good quarterback, their offense still isn't great. I mean, their offense is not great. So I'll take my chances with either one of those. But yes, the Broncos are definitely easier. My man Claude Bishop says, just speaking in pure facts, and I agree with him 100%.
That's what I'm talking about, Claude.
So
That's what I'm talking about, Claude. That's what I'm talking about. Claude doesn't see the light. He
no,
doesn't see
actually,
the
I think
light.
he was talking about Dresden.
Oh, they live in the Matrix. I don't know
Yeah,
what
they
you're talking about.
live in the Matrix,
They
man.
live over there. They live over there, man. They get delusions of grandeur and see stuff through coding and all whatever else.
Nah.
Him and S. Dresden live over there. We already know. We know who the residence is in the Matrix. We know. Hey, I told them, I said on our show on the other channel, I said Claude Bishop was decorating the center square with a big Christmas tree while he was live on air in the Matrix, man. Because he didn't know what else to do but just put up Christmas decorations in the Matrix, man. He couldn't take it. He couldn't take it, bro.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited tomorrow, man. Like I said, y'all get your Christmas shop or your Christmas presents open early. Get your breakfast. Come on over to Steelers Almighty. 45 minutes before the game. We're 15 minutes after the game for our post game. We will be live and ready to roll. Big G, let everybody know where they can find you again, man.
Hey, man, thanks again, man, for having me over here on the big show. We love it over here, man. It's a great opportunity. And we just like rocking with Steeler Nation across the board, man. And Steeler Nation gets down over here, and we appreciate it. But you can find me, man, on the KnoItAllz Podcast, Sundays live at 6 p.m. on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that KnoItAllz. We are desperately and working hard and diligently to get to that 1K subs. You can also find me over on Steel Curtain Network. I'm on a couple of times a week. Pump Your Brakes with my boy Tay Boy Fresh and Shannon White, the Triple OG, as well as the Homies and Homies Overtime Podcast. And I do a college football podcast on Mondays. It's called the Level Up College Football Podcast. Me and Andy P, the fellas know I'm talking a little strong right now about college football, but that's another show for another day. And I ain't gonna talk to the haters that I work with sometimes. How they hate on my squad, and they'll remain nameless as long as we're on the air.
I got you, man. Look, everybody, if you haven't caught the All 22 from the Ravens game, make sure you guys go and check that out. Report card came out as well with the grades that we went over tonight. So make sure you guys go check that out. Steelers Almighty, we are still growing, moving strong. We appreciate all of the support that you guys have given us, man. Like I always mention, we started April 4th of this year. That's a special day to me. I'll tell you all about that at another time. Having said all of that, man, thank you guys. We're moving. It's a big game tomorrow, Big G. It's a big game. I think we got it. I'm behind enemy line. How can you be behind enemy lines in your own house? It's unbelievable. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna make it work.
Just FaceTime me. Just FaceTime me. I got you, dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
we're gonna be decked out as Steelers over here. We wall-to-wall Steelers over here, so you got some support, bro.
Absolutely. Remember, everybody, you get out of this video. Once this video is off, make sure you go into the video and leave a comment and definitely hit that like button. We appreciate you guys, man. We got one last super chat that just popped up. We're going to put that up on the screen here from our man Easy Rollins. Here we go, Steelers. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys as always. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Make sure you show up, show out. And last but not least, man, Merry Christmas to everybody, man. Have some fun tomorrow. I will holler at you. Aloha.